Ash vs. Evil Dead Episode 7, Fire in the Hole. Definitely a good action episode for sure. We got to see all the characters, including Ruby, in this episode, who inexplicably came back to life. She just popped up out of it, and there's no portal, none of that stuff. She just rose from the ashes like a phoenix. And something that happened in this episode, which I mentioned before, is that she went, even though she had nothing, she woke up out of this pile of ash nude. I don't know if she has super strength at this point. She crushed a skull that was also like charred beyond belief, so it could have been fairly brittle, but it was still a skull, so I don't know if that means something's going on. I'm not 100% sure. She didn't come out as a Deadite or anything, but she survived, so there's still a huge question as to how she made it, exactly what's going on. I mean, I guess she could have just heard that there was a crazy shootout or whatever at the restaurant, so that could have been how she got there. But when she ended up there, I was like, how does she know where to go? She was always like a step behind Ash. And in every episode, it was just like, how did she know this happened? Like when she went to the house, maybe it was because of the Deadites. And in this case, maybe it was probably just the police thing because she's not on the best terms with the Deadites anymore. But once again, one step behind the team. So kind of sticking in line with that. She gets her little blade out. So I'm looking forward to seeing her use that. I don't know really what to expect if she's going to show up at the armory in the next episode, which is most likely what's going to happen because of her, one step behind deal. So she'll probably end up at the armory, and then maybe the episode after that, in episode 8, she'll actually end up, or in episode 9, she'll actually end up at the same place as Ash, which I like to think they might maybe for whatever reason, they might have these last 3 episodes, because I believe there are only 10 for this first season. So we might get 8, 9, and 10 all in the cabin, which I think would be very awesome. I'd love to see that, but I don't know. It just depends on what Ash has to do, and then what happens with the team, because they aren't in the trailer at all. It's Ash and the cabin, and that's it for episode 8. That's all we get to see. But I don't know what to really expect. I mean, maybe they'll stay at the armory, and that's how Ruby will catch up with them, and maybe she'll get the info out of them, and it's like, oh, it's the cabin, and then that's how they all figure out this is where we have to go. So Ash might be there, all alone in the next episode, and then episode 9, everyone shows up, and then whatever happens in 9 and 10, they kind of deal with the Deadites, and then we'll see how that plays out for the finale. But I'm definitely excited to see what's going to happen with this. So it was pretty cool to see her, have this like secret thing, and she, turns a knob, and here comes, this blade out of the glove compartment. So that was actually pretty sweet. Like, oh, it was in the car the whole time. And she somehow got clothes from somebody. There were like 3 cop cars, so I don't know if she got the clothes before that or inside the restaurant. I would assume before that. But she got herself some clothes somehow, and somehow got really far, because I can't remember how far away the restaurant was from Brujo's place, but maybe she just took some of his clothes, I guess. Who knows? But she's alive again, and inexplicable, but she's there, so that's pretty exciting. She wasn't taken away anywhere else. She just, poof, crazy explosion, and she rose from the ashes, like, almost like it was nothing. It was pretty weird. I was like, I don't know what to even think about this, but it has me excited to see what's going on with her character. It's more than she's just a human trying to get revenge for her family. I think she might have some spells or some magic kind of within herself, and that's why she was able to survive. It just took a while before she was able to kind of heal, I guess, and basically come back to life. But very cool. And then basically the rest of the whole episode was just shooting and craziness. Lots of good effects in this episode. I thought we got a fairly big focus on kind of the Deadite makeup in this one. We normally get it as like, oh, here's the ending fight scene, and that's about it. But this episode had a lot of it. Like, Lem in this whole episode was constantly had like a lot of close-ups and stuff, and it was very gross. Like, every time they showed him, I don't know why, but I think he was like the grossest one. It might be because he had like all the gasoline and stuff, so it's like spit, like he's drooling and everything, and he's sweating and stuff, and it was dark, and it just looked really gross compared to everyone else, where it's like, oh, they just have like a scrunched up, sort of monster looking face. But for him, it was like, this just looked really nasty, actually, and it kind of played up more than it normally does. But I like that. I thought it was pretty cool. We get to see Amanda and Ash together, like the whole episode, and they're actually about to kiss at the end, which immediately surprised me. I didn't think that was going to happen at all, and it happened super fast. Even if it was going to happen, it was like, well, it would take a bit of time, but it was nope. They officially met, and then this episode they're together and they're about to kiss at the end after they finally beat Lem, and it's like, oh, rain check on that. I was like, man, that was super super quick. Which personally, I'm fine with it. I don't think it has to be like it's Evil Dead. It's not one of those shows where I'm like, oh, that was way too fast or anything. Like it's Evil Dead, and as Ash put it, it's just like he's constantly super forward about stuff. So that's generally what makes relationship stuff last longer. Is people are shy or whatever. But he's just like, this, and this. I totally did notice your rack and all this other stuff. So he kind of expedites that sort of process, which is it fits perfectly and it's totally fine. So that was pretty interesting. Pablo and Kelly were really awesome in this. They really stepped up, which I thought was great. Pablo is trying to like figure out what type of weapon guy he is, which I thought was really funny, and him just trying to really stand up and be his own man was really funny. When Kelly shot up the guy and she like finally destroyed the Deadite and he just started punching it, that I was just laughing like crazy. He's freaking out like, don't shoot me, and she never used an assault rifle, so the recoil is just like shooting her straight up into the air. She like actually flew back into the truck, and I was like, this is just insanely bad for both of them. Like I mean, by the end, he was basically in a pool of blood. Like he's flipping and flopping all over the place, and he's just drenched in blood. His fists were completely covered in it, and she's like, she has her weapon now with the assault rifle, so she's kind of gotten used to it by the end. But it was just really funny. I think that was the funniest scene, to me at least, in this episode, was them just freaking out. She's constantly shooting the thing and can't get 100% accuracy. Like every time she shoots, it kind of goes up a little, and he's just like, don't shoot me, and he's trying to jump to the side, but then he gets pulled back, and every time it's just like more and more blood, and it was just spraying on him, and then the punching thing at the end was really funny, and he's like just mad at it and just starts punching this dead body. I was like, this is just a really silly scene, but I loved all of that. Him with the rocket launcher was really funny too, and he's like, oh, I think I found my own boomstick, which is a cool reference because I don't think we actually heard. They may have done that in the first episode where Ash says like, the shotgun is his boomstick, but I don't know if they officially said that or not. So either way, I thought it was pretty cool they said it, and then he pulls the trigger and a rocket just shoots up in space. I'm like, did he really just shoot a rocket off by accident? And then it just blows up, off in the background. I was like, that's just insanely funny. But he does find himself a Magnum, which I thought was pretty cool. And then everyone kind of works together and they take out the final Deadite, of the episode, and Ash is behind the team, and then he takes off and ditches them. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and him at the cabin. The hand gets to the cabin and stuff, so I think the next episode should be pretty exciting. They might, like I said, considering they're at the cabin, I think they're going to do the last 3 episodes there because we'll have Ash by himself and then the team and Ruby either meeting up or just trying to figure it out, and then maybe they meet up in episode 9 and then they all head to the cabin and they get there by the end of 9 and then everyone is at the cabin by 10 and Ruby gets her explanation, which she could also get from Amanda, where it's like, he's actually not the one that caused all this. He's not making more of them. He did technically cause it by accident this time. Again, I guess every time was by accident, but it was still him. And, I don't know if that'll change things or not, depending on what happened with her when she, died, I guess. Whether or not she cares about the actual answer or if she's gonna be, completely driven by revenge at this point. But she still has her blade, which can affect Deadites and mess them up, so I don't know, maybe she thinks Ash is like some sort of crazy super Deadite or something weird like that. I don't know, but I'm definitely looking forward to it. This is a pretty awesome episode. I really did love seeing Kelly and Pablo teaming up in this episode, and Pablo really trying to figure out how in the world, do I step up? Who am I as far as it wasn't who am I in the world or anything like Kelly said, the big questions in life, but it was still cool him just trying to figure out what works for him. And so he has his weapon, Kelly gets her weapon by the end, and I'm excited to see the team, fully work together once they find Ash again, which I feel like the only way they can is if they end up running into Ruby, who will most likely end up at the military base somehow, and because she just finds out all the information. So I'm assuming that's what's going to happen, but no matter how it plays out, I'm looking forward to it. More gore and everything. Definitely a gory episode, like crazy in this one. I think past two episodes, shootout at the bar, especially the kid, going up into the fan. And then this one was just like blood all over the place. The beginning of the episode when the two people, the woman was like ripped in half. She had like her intestines spilled out. And then when all the people from Lem's militia came in, they just blew the one guy's brains out. They kind of used that for the opening, so they didn't have like the full effect of it. But it was still like you saw the beginning of it, and then it goes to the opening. But crazy gory episode, which Evil Ash versus Evil Dead, so totally to be expected, totally fine. And then the funnier side with Pablo and Kelly when they were in the back of the pickup truck. So it has its crazy darker moments, and then obviously just so over the top. It's really funny, but that's kind of why it's Evil Dead. It definitely does both sides very well. So enjoyed the episode, of course. I want to know what you guys thought about it though. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts, and because Ash does end up leaving the team at the end, I want to know how you guys think they're going to wind up at the cabin or wind up finding him in general. He might be somewhere else and they might end up at the cabin by themselves, or however it works out, I don't know. But I want to know your speculations for how you guys think the team is going to reunite with Ash, wherever he ends up being when they actually find him, which I still personally think it'll be the cabin for a good hour and a half for these last 3 episodes, which is a great way to end the first season. Personally, I think just 3 straight episodes of the cabin, kind of hard to beat that. So looking forward to it. But like I said, want to know what you guys think. So please comment below, let me know. And thanks for watching.